I failed.
So, like all good fairy tales, ours has a prologue. Night before auditions, I messaged in a DCP group chat asking who'd be up for a last-minute prep sesh, to an overwhelming response. We decided to meet up at the hotel most of the outer-towners were staying at, and eventually commandeered the La Quinta Inn & Suites gym as our practice space. We ended up having like over a dozen girls join, in rotations of who needed to sleep and when the newbies' flights landed. Some of the other hopefuls were also party princesses. In fact, one of them, Celeste, was an avid Ariel fan / impersonator that also happened to be vlogging that day, and somehow knew / knows about my videos. So if you're watching this, Celeste, you're awesome, and hit me up.
I just hit myself in the face with keys.
Graceful.
I know, right?
Disney princess in the future.
Anyways, the practice session. We started with animations based off prompts used in previous years, like cutting down a Christmas tree, Toy Maker and Toy coming to life, Monsters Inc. scaring scenario thing, and Haunted Mansion character getting ready for a ball, to name a few. We went in pairs and then critiqued each other. To be fair, we spent a lot of the time talking, and we even played this game where we shared stories and facts about our life, but the catch was, we couldn't stop smiling in true face character fashion. At the very end, we touched on dance moves and components we heard were often used in DCP auditions, wherein I learned what the heck a grapevine is. I was tragic, but luckily there's no footage of that. But ultimately, the night came to an end as we headed back to get some sleep and prepare for the big day. Oh, also, my carpool bunny and I stopped at Walmart so we could get dance shoes, and I got a new outfit to bolster my confidence for the audition. Suffice to say, highly, highly recommend.
Hi guys, so just got back from our little prep sesh, which was amazing. All the girls were so sweet and so kind. It made me feel so much more reassured by the way that there were other girls of my body type and my size there. I'm gonna go to bed, I'm gonna get some sleep, and I will see you guys in the morning. Okay, so my dumb butt couldn't go to sleep last night because insomnia, so I'm running a little behind. I overslept a little bit. Here's the makeup and outfit of the day, but it's like 9:40 and you're supposed to check in at 10. The audition's at 10:30. I don't know if I've said that already. Basically, it's 9:40 right now and I wanted to leave at like 9, so I'm running like 40 minutes behind, but that was also to be really early. Anyway, I'm just gonna go ahead and go. I couldn't find any socks, but I have ballet shoes that I bought yesterday, so that's okay. And I'll see you when I'm a little less stressed out, hopefully. Hey guys, I failed. So I didn't even make it past the first round of cuts. I'm a little sad by it. And I'm trying my best to be okay because it wouldn't have been a face character anyway, but it was just so different than I thought it was gonna be. Everyone online says they give you time and they explain the dance, and they didn't. Okay, so I want to recount it while I remember. I took a second to calm down. I'm a little emotional, but it's definitely not as much as if I was banking on being a face performer, because this was just for fur for me because of my body size. So day started, I woke up a little late. I woke up at 9:20 and I wanted to leave at like around 9:15 to 9. So I basically woke up at the time I was supposed to leave. I took about like 15 minutes to get ready, and this is the makeup I was able to accomplish. It's very basic. It's just my face makeup, and I glued on a lash because I need a eyelash extension fill-in. There was a lot of girls that wore more makeup than me, so I don't think that this is a problem at all. So don't go in there with a bare face if that's not what you're comfortable with. Wear as much makeup as you feel like you need. As far as my outfit, I feel like I wore, you know, a very average thing for the people who are auditioning. It's kind of like leggings or tights or something like that, and a leotard or a workout shirt. A lot of people with like the full coverage jerseys, like long sleeves, didn't seem to make it through. I don't know if that's actually a connection or a correlation, but you decide. I would definitely recommend wearing something with your arms free. So fast forward, I get to the dance studio. It is exactly 10, exactly check-in time, and I am given this number, 187. It went all the way up to, I believe, 215, somewhere around there. So we were the last group of girls, so that I think is the cap. And I can say that most people got there earlier than me, so I would definitely say get here early, but it doesn't really matter. It didn't change anything. I still got to audition like everybody else. So basically, I'm just handed a number and told to go into a room. This room is like a typical dance studio rehearsal space with mirrors and bars. Inside, there's an instructor. She looks like a jazzercise or spin class kind of person. You know, she's got the all workout clothes, long sleeve, leggings, and she asked me to pull out my Disney auditions profile. Now, this is different than your Disney college program profile. I made it a while ago and I don't exactly remember how the process was, but I will leave links down below. So basically, once you have one of those, you go to signin.disney.com, something like that. They'll tell you the exact URL that you need to put in. But basically, with your location services on, the internet will recognize you're in an audition location and it'll let you sign in. So you sign in, you put in your number, you say that you're 18, and you say that you're not currently a cast member, and you submit. You're signed in. Welcome to a Disney audition. After that, I sit down, and it's basically an hour of sitting. I'm just making friends. I'm sitting there talking to other people. It was a really fun part of it. I know I've heard from other auditioners that made YouTube videos. They say that you should interact with other people because it shows the instructors or the recruiters that you're really trying and you're outgoing and you're smiley and you're happy, and I did all of that. It was intimidating though, because there were a lot of beautiful girls, like insanely beautiful Victoria's Secret girls, and then there were other people that were chubbier or much shorter. So this was an audition for everything, and I remember they said at the beginning, like when auditions started, so I'm fast forwarding a little bit, they said that this is an audition for being a character performer, not being a face character performer. So basically, you go through the same audition process for fur or face characters in the Disney college program, at least at the beginning, and then they'll split you up later, but I didn't get to that point, so obviously. Anyway, backtrack, made a lot of friends, it was a lot of fun, but it was an hour of sitting, and it definitely hyped up my nerves a little bit, especially seeing all these beautiful ladies come in, and there were some who were like going over to the ballet bars, and they were stretching, and they were like professional dancers there. So it was a huge, wide range of talent. There was a lot of different people there. So if you're worried about it, I would definitely say just go anyway, just like get a feel for it. After that hour of talking and getting Instagrams and meeting other people, the instructor comes back in. And I just want to touch on really quick, something that I didn't get from other videos is that there is an instructor and a recruiter. There are two different people. The instructor is the person who teaches you the dance and gives you a couple tries to practice through it. And the recruiter only comes in to say, yes, I like this person, or yes, I don't. The recruiter sees you do, I think, 2 repetitions of it, and then that's it. That's all they judge you on. They see you do an animation and then the march sequence twice. You don't get a lot of chances to show your excitement throughout the process. It's basically just one on and done, which is so much scarier than anything anybody else is hyped up to be. So what I wish I would have known is that you really have to perfect that dance before the recruiter even gets in the room. So while you're walking around being told to line up, you should be counting those steps, you should be doing the hand movements with it, and I did a little bit of that, but I wish I would have focused on it more because the dance really matters. And other people said you can just smile your way through it, and that is not necessarily true. So the instructor's in the room. She goes up to the front. We're lining up in rows, not exact rows, but it's kind of like where we were sitting, we stand up. And the thing about that is that I was in the back because a lot of the friend group that I had was in the back, and we couldn't really see the instructor. For the animations, it didn't seem to matter that much because it was just general instruction, but for the dance, it really mattered, and I'll talk about that later. The first instruction is to do an animation. Our animation prompt was, you are a character in a parade and you see a child that's wearing your merch or a shirt with you on it or the same outfit as you. Basically, you're just singling them out and making them have a wonderful time with true Disney magic. The catch is you have to be a fur character of some kind and cannot be a princess, which is hard for me because my brain always wants to go princess, but they said Fab Five, Pluto, Pinocchio, something more obscure, maybe Toy Story would work. So we're told to give that animation to this side, and the front. So we do that, we run through each one really quick, and this is kind of a freestyle time. They're not really judging anything. This is for you to get a grasp of good ideas for movements, and don't be afraid to look at other people and think, oh yeah, what she's doing with, you know, the heart or the kiss is really fun, or going down in the lasso, anything like that. Use that to your advantage for when you're showing the recruiter your animation. Next comes the dance, and this is where it messed up for me. So again, I was in the back, I couldn't see the instructor. She was just laying out some dance terms that I didn't quite understand, and she was counting numbers, and I couldn't see what that was supposed to punctuate because I couldn't see her doing it. I could only see the people on the first and second rows who were, you know, kind of messing it up as they did it, so I couldn't get the cadence right, and I couldn't ever see the moves done properly, which was a huge fault, and I should have fought my way to the front. So I'm horrible at the dance, but basically here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, this is supposed to be 2 claps. Oops. I feel like a Zumba instructor, but your first dance is basically 4 movements in 4 counts. So your first movement is going to be a march, and you step off on your right foot, which is important to get the pacing of everything else. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you step off on your right foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now it's grapevine and rolling your hands. So 1, 2, 3, clap is 4, and then you're gonna do your turns, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. That's basically the dance. I'm not really good at it, so I can't show it to you fast all that well, but those are the movements, and if you're a dancer, hopefully you understood what I meant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically, we practice that literally twice, and then we line up. Up until this point, the room has been orientated so that we are facing the long wall. Now we are moving so that our side is to the long wall, and we can walk down the long side in front of the recruiter. So here we are, we're marching, the recruiter's at the end. We go through that one time on our own with just our instructor, not our recruiter. So altogether, we only got to go through the full dance 3 times. And for me, who isn't a dancer and doesn't know what she's doing and never saw the instruction the first time, this was a huge pitfall. The 4th time I did this dance, I was doing it in front of the person who decides my fate. Of course, there were rows and rows of people in front of me because we were marching, so I got to see a lot of people do the dance, and I was trying to go through it and count the steps in my head, but eventually when it was my turn, I didn't do the best job. I noticed that people who were really strong dancers and animators got through. Of course, people who were strong animators but not so good of dancers, they usually got cut. People who were strong dancers and not so great of animators usually stayed. So to me, from what I've experienced with my recruiter, it felt like people who were good at the dance passed and your animation didn't matter as much, which is nerve-wracking because I'm the opposite. I feel like I'm better at animating than I am at dancing, and I know the entire way through I had a smile on my face. I was enthusiastic about it. I think I just really failed because everyone in my row was poor dancers. We were all kind of lost and hoping that someone was a stronger dancer than us, but we were all kind of weak dancers and stronger animators. So 2 of the girls on my left bumped into each other. I had this giant guy on my left, I was all the way to the right, and he put his arms out really far and he hit like the top of my head. I didn't react. I was just like, hi, I'm happy to be here. So at the end of that round, they called a couple of numbers and they said, if we said your number, please stay. If we didn't call your number, you are free to go, which means please leave. For a second, I thought they called my number. The friends that I was with, they were like, oh, no, they called 187, and I went up and I asked, and she called 197, so that was unfortunate. Nobody from my row or the row behind me stayed, and when I was leaving, casting, I saw about 20 people left in the room. That's what I would say. So 20 out of 70 stayed. So as someone who has been cut in the first round, I would definitely say that my failure or my shortcoming would be the dance area. And I think I should have taken it more seriously. I was just really happy when a lot of people said, oh, if you're not good at the dance, it doesn't matter. I wasn't a good dancer. Like, no, I'm really genuinely a horrible dancer. I have no sense of rhythm. So I should have taken the time to focus more on the dance moves than the animation, because ultimately in that first round, that's what matters more. So if you're watching this in preparation for your audition, I would say take the time to really focus on the dance aspect of this if you're not a strong dancer. If you're a strong dancer, I'm sure you'll be fine. But pretty much every first dance that I've seen on the internet and that I experienced has the components of a grapevine, one of those turn things, doing your hands, clapping, and counting beats. So I would practice that on my own, so I would just know how when I get in there to put them together rather than having to learn how to do each move on the spot. So I came out of that really emotional, and I have to keep telling myself, and what softens the blow is that this wasn't ever gonna give me my dream role, which would be to be a face character, aka princess. I was going to have to be a fur character because of my weight, so it's a little less high stakes, and I'm glad that I got to go to one before my real audition that I'm hoping happens. So I can't give you too much advice because obviously I didn't make it. I can give you a cautionary tale to not take that dance for granted. Even if you are not a strong dancer, learn those moves ahead of time. You have plenty of time to practice if you're watching this, you know, before your audition. Learn those counts and definitely stay on beat. I think that is more important than getting every single move in, which was what I was a little too focused on. I was like, I have to do that turn. So even though we've moved on to the next move, I'm going to do that turn and then lag a little bit. And it kind of just caught up to me that I was a little confused and everybody was a little ahead of me, but everybody in my row didn't know what we were doing. Basically, learn those dances, stay on beat, and stay positive. I think that's the best thing that you can do. And you can mess up in front of the instructor, but you can't mess up in front of the recruiter. Unfortunately, you might be able to get away with a couple of stumbles, but I felt a little intimidated by the recruiter who was really nice. This is not the end for me. I will definitely audition again, but hopefully I will go in there a little more prepared. So that is my story. That is why I failed. And for those of you who are having upcoming auditions, I wish you the best of luck. I'm sure a lot of you can do it a lot better than me. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, all that YouTube stuff. And if you have auditioned or you're going to audition, comment down below. If you have any asks for advice, I will try my best to answer them. But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to me. And I really, really hope that you make it to the next audition and you give me free Disney passes. Thank you so much for watching and have a magical day. Bye, y'all.